Good morning, world. Today we're talking about 5 ways you can help or be supportive to someone with ADHD who's attempting to make changes. First one is to remember that change is incremental and act that way. Because a lot of times what we find is that someone, or whether it's at home or at work, will want to have that person, because they say yes, they're working on it, will expect them to have everything fixed in that one day, or once they say that, hey, I'm working on this. Remember that change is incremental. Encourage and give the person time to make those incremental changes. So this means that when they start working on behavior A, don't expect that behavior B is automatically going to change, and accept and acknowledge the changes that they're making on behavior A side, and not necessarily have that. A lot of times, people get that backhand compliment of, yeah, you did good on this, but you still messed that up. Don't do that. Remember, change is incremental. If they're working on one thing, help and allow them to work on that one thing. And then when they finish, they can move on to the second thing. 2, ADHD requires consistency. This means consistency from them as well as from the people around them. So when that person is working on whatever it is that they're working, they need the people around them to be consistent. If your role in their change is that you are setting certain reminders, if your role is making sure that you are putting things in a calendar, make sure that you're doing your part. And even if sometimes it seems like they have fallen by the wayside, make sure that you don't necessarily stop what your part of it. You're not stopping what you're supposed to be doing because you don't see that they're moving fast enough, or because you have whatever issue you may have with the way the change is progressing. 3, respect their process, respect their systems, or any boundaries that they set. People with ADHD have a lot of needs. Sometimes they need, especially if the person has their ADHD managed, or they are attempting to manage their ADHD, they may start putting together certain processes and certain systems, things that will help them or are helping them manage the ADHD symptoms. Be respectful of that. So if you know that someone is if they say from 9 to 9:30 that is their reading time, be respectful of that reading time. Be respectful of any process that they put in place. Even if you do not understand why they have a red sticker on their computer, leave that red sticker there, because that's part of their process. That's not yours to remove. 4, encourage and support them, both in words as well as in action. A lot of times, especially when the change does not happen as fast as people would like, or as fast as people expect, they tend to be a little more discouraging. Continue to encourage, continue to be supportive, and show that support both in your words and in your action. When you see the person working on something, yes, acknowledge that, but don't acknowledge it while they're working. Acknowledge it when they're done. Take time and let your action reflect your appreciation of what they are doing. 5, and that's probably the most important one. Don't give up. People with ADHD have had their whole lives of people giving up. Parents, teachers saying, this kid just doesn't care. This kid just whatever. I don't know why. Out of my 5 children, this one just. They've had their whole lives of people giving up, of people coming to that conclusion that they shouldn't even try anymore. But because this is the person's life, they are making efforts, and they need you to stick with them. They need that encouragement. They need to know that you believe in them. They need to know that you're going to stand with them as they go on this journey. So whatever it is that you do, don't give up on them. Continue with them as long as they are going to be working on whatever change, as many times as they are going to start over working on this one same change. Don't give up on them. Quick recap. 1, remember that change is incremental and act as such. Don't give them 10 things to do at once. Give them 1 at a time. 2, ADHD requires consistency, and that means consistency from the person as well as those around them. So be consistent with your actions and your obligations. 3, respect their process, respect their system, and most definitely respect their boundaries. 4, encourage and support them both with your words as well as with your actions, because they're getting They're doing a lot of things and they need that encouragement and support all the time. And finally, no matter what, do not give up on them, because they need to know that you support them. They need to know that they have a team behind them as they go on this journey of change making. And if you or someone you know have something going on that is more than you can handle, please remember that there's a lot of help out there, and reach out and get that help. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.